Fans, good afternoon and welcome to Championship Wrestling Connection. On today's episode, great matches of classic Southern States Wrestling. Enjoy the best in professional wrestling from Southern States Wrestling.
Ricker, I'll tell you what, we've introduced him, I've introduced him, you've introduced him. He wants the world to introduce him.
He
as
wants
the
Michael
king.
Buffer to introduce him, I think.
I'll
Good
tell
grief.
you one thing, he's upset. He signed a match for the TV title of Southern States against Eddie Golden. Eddie Golden missed his plane connections. He could not get here. Brian Overbay said, Joe Wheeler, I will step up. I'll take the match. Ring the bell. And I tell you what, now Brian Overbay gets his revenge from December from Bo James on Christmas night. Burnt Brian Overbay with a ball of fire. Now Bo meets Brian Overbay in the ring, and he don't want to meet him, Marty.
Bo James is the Southern States television champion. I thought anytime you wrestled on television, the television championship was at stake for the first 15 minutes. I could be wrong.
Well, supposedly it is supposed to be, but now Bo James is screaming it's a non-title match because he doesn't want to put the belt up against Brian Overbay. It's been since December, since these men have met. Brian Overbay's got revenge. Now Bo James is screaming, Rob Knight, get in here and make him break.
Well, I know what, Mike. You know exactly what it feels like to be burned by a Bo James fireball. Brian Overbay was the first one to feel it back in, I guess it was December. You felt it shortly after the first of the year. I fortunately have not. But Brian Overbay has got revenge on his mind, and he's had almost 7 or 8 months to think about, or 6 months actually, to think about this match.
And Bo James, Brian Overbay told me earlier today, he said, Mike Williams, I have not thought about anything else but Bo James and revenge. And today, Brian's got his chance right here on the main event to get his revenge. And he cocks back to unload that hand. And see, Bo covers up in the corner, Marty.
Well, Bo James is wanting Rob Knight to disqualify Brian Overbay. I tell you what, Brian Overbay from right here in Kingsport, Tennessee, and the fans are solidly behind Brian Overbay here at the Kingsport Civic Auditorium, one of their own.
I'll tell you what, Brian Overbay of Kingsport, he's got his own people here, and they want to see him take it to Bo James. They want to see him get revenge. They go call an elbow. Bo backs up. He don't want to tie up with Brian Overbay because he knows 6 months of frustration is in the mind of Brian Overbay. All Overbay can think about is making mincemeat out of Bo James.
Well, Bo James is just ticked off because, as far as we know, this is an SSW television title match. It was signed as a title match. The only man other than the board of directors that can make it a non-title match is Commissioner Joe Wheeler.
That's right.
Wheeler is backstage tending to some business back there. We don't exactly know what's going on backstage, but he has not come out and said, no, it's not a title match. We have to assume that it is.
Well, that's right, we do. And until Joe Wheeler gets here, which we called for him, and he wasn't available, so we're still saying it's a Southern States title event right here today. And I tell you what, Bo James has got the referee, Rob Knight, tore up, but now Overbay's telling him, hey, just get out of the way, Robbie. Let me have a hold of Bo James. That's all he wants. Overbay, he don't really care about the title. Of course, he'd love to have it. I know that. He's a former Southern States heavyweight champion. He would take the TV title and wear it with pride and honor, but really, he just wants his hands on Bo James.
The SSW Television Championship, one of the most prestigious titles in East Tennessee because of Southern States exposure on both Southern States main events and on SSW After Midnight. And Bo James gets a fistful of seat there. Third row, piano side, right in the face.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Bo James is in a world of hurt. He's doing it to himself. Bo James is leaving. He said he's had enough. And I tell you what, Rob Knight starts that count. Bo James has got a 10 count to get back to the ring. And I tell you what, Bo's headed back, Marty.
Yeah, Bo doesn't want any Brian Overbay. We've documented the history between these two men. Brian Overbay has come back to SSW and has really just sort of quietly worked his way up. Hasn't said a lot about Bo James. He's talked a lot to me and to you about his desire to get revenge on Bo. But Brian's been, sort of quietly in the mid-cards, quietly in the early matches, waiting patiently for this opportunity. He finally gets it this morning on television to get his revenge on the handsome one, Bo James.
Well, Marty, Marty, it goes back to Bo James and Brian. They were tag team partners.
Yeah, that's true.
They were Southern States tag team champions. And then on Christmas night, in front of everybody, Bo James called Brian Overbay to the ring and he said, Brian, I've got a Christmas present for you. He had a Christmas present there. Bo offered it to Brian. Brian said, thank you, Bo. While he was opening his Christmas gift from Bo James hit him in the face with a ball of fire. Marty Ricker, I've been there. I felt that fire. I know what it feels like. And I tell you what, I love to see Bo James get beat up because, frankly, I thought he ended my career as well as Brian Overbay.
Well, the night you were burned was my first night with Southern States Wrestling. I was kind of in the back, sort of meeting everybody, shaking hands and getting to know everybody with Southern States Wrestling. And I heard that the announcer, Mike, had been burned by Bo James, and I was very close to saying, okay guys, see ya. Nice knowing you, but I'm glad to see you're okay. You've recovered fully. And Brian Overbay looking for his revenge. Side headlock by Bo James. Bo James has held every single title there is to hold in Southern States Wrestling and some other organizations as well. Bo James spending some time in Nashville and Memphis as well in his career, and he's got the King of Kings board, and he wears that banner proudly.
Oh yeah, he does. And I tell you what, I was just like Brian Overbay. I trusted Bo James at one time, and when I trusted Bo, he was one of my dearest friends, and we went everywhere together. We rode the roads together. But I tell you what, after he burned me with the fire, I have never trusted him again. And I tell you what, now he's worried about KC. He's needing help. Bo James is starting to bleed, and I tell you what, Brian Overbay is just saying, hey, come on, let me have at him. But I tell you what, Bo's doing everything, Marty, he can do to keep Brian Overbay off of him.
KC Thunder off of camera shot, but KC Thunder near the entranceway watching this very, very closely. Bo James is being checked over by referee Rob Knight for international objects. I guess we're not allowed to say foreign objects anymore. They're international objects.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bo James reached into the tights and he got something. He's got it in that hand. And I'll tell you one thing, he'll use it, Marty. He doesn't care. He'll do anything he can. Hey, he feels like his back is to the wall, and to this point, he will use something.
I tell you what, Brian Overbay, anytime Bo James is sort of shying away with that hand, he's got to be thinking in the back of his mind, fireball.
I tell you what, you will. Every time you see Bo go for something, you always think it's that fireball, because I tell you what, give the devil his due. Bo James is good with a fireball. He can throw one, and he's got two things he loves the best. It's the fireball and the pile driver, and he's an expert at both of them.
Well, the pile driver allegedly banned in the state of Tennessee, but sometimes Bo gets away with it behind the officials' backs. There have been some legendary flamethrowers in this sport. The Sheik won. Classy Freddie Blassie, I think, used to throw some fire on occasion. The late, great Eddie Gilbert, Jerry the King Lawler, all great fire throwers. And you've got to put Bo James up there on that list of those great legendary wrestlers that has fire in his arsenal.
Oh, I'll tell you what, he loves to use it, and he can use it at any time. And I'll tell you this, you never know when it's coming either.
Yeah, I guess you're speaking from experience there. Bo's wanting to go for a test of strength. We're watching that right hand of Bo that he has clenched there. I believe he still has something in that hand. Boom! Oh, hello. Turn out the lights. The party's over for Brian Overbay as he was hit with that whatever was in the hand of Bo James.
Bo James telling Rob Knight, what, are you crazy? I didn't have a thing. It was just, he said he used...
Claimed a Mongolian chop, maybe.
He said he used the big chop on Brian Overbay. There he goes for the cover. 2 count. Brian Overbay's out. Just a 2 count. And Bo says, hey, Rob Knight, that was a 3. But no, it wasn't. It was a 2. But there's that kick of the king, handsome Bo James. And I tell you what, Bo's deadly in that ring. He knows his craft. He's one of the finest wrestlers you'll find today. Hey, I'll give the devil his due. The man is on his game. He doesn't keep the TV title by not knowing how to wrestle, Marty.
Well, you got KC Thunder again on the entranceway, watching very closely. Wouldn't be surprised to see him interject himself in this match if the need arises. But right now, Bo James appears to have everything in hand with a front face lock.
Handsome Bo James has a reverse chin lock and he says, I've got him now. I've got Brian Overbay where I want him. Now Rob Knight checking the arm of Brian Overbay. It's went down twice. If it goes down a third time, it's over with. But Brian Overbay making his way back. The big shots to the midsection of Bo James. Bo gets him a handful of hair.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, he takes Overbay back down to the canvas. I had my mind on Joe Wheeler.
More and more wrestlers nowadays are getting their hair cut for that particular reason. If they have the long manes and the ponytail, it's very easy to be grabbed and pulled down. So you're seeing a lot of wrestlers who used to sport mullets wearing a lot shorter hair. But Brian Overbay hasn't made that step yet, so it was easy for Bo James just to grab it and yank him down.
Now, Bo's got the rear chin lock again on Brian Overbay. The arm went down twice, but here comes Overbay. He's making his way back up to his feet. There's a big shot to the midsection, two of them. Overbay, he breaks free. Hey, it's off the ropes. Oh, yeah, but that big kick right into the middle of the midsection by Bo James.
Oh, in the words of the late, great Gordon Soley, right to the lower midsection.
Oh, you just don't do that. And I'll tell you what, Bo got him a choke going on there. He put the knee right across the throat of Brian Overbay. Bo James knows every dirty trick in the book.
Yeah, he wrote some of them. And Brian Overbay is in the quarter slumping. And Rob Knight, Bo James wants Rob Knight to count, but there's really no reason for Rob to count. He's not in the ropes. He's not out of the ring. If Bo James wanted to attack like he's doing now, he could. Hard right hand to the side of the head of Brian Overbay. Overbay with a hard right hand to the bread basket, the ample bread basket of Bo James.
Now Bo James goes to the eyes and rakes the eyes of Brian Overbay. There to slow even the late great Andre the Giant down.
Yeah.
The flying mare by Bo James, and now back into that rear chin lock.
Well, you know, Bo James likes to go for the eyes. They went for the eyes of Jimmy Golden over the past several months. Jimmy even having to wear an eye patch for a short time because of the dynasty. And once again, that rear chin lock, Bo James trying to wear the bigger, at least taller Brian Overbay down with that rear chin lock.
Oh, I'll tell you what, they went for the eyes on Jimmy Golden. That's a great point, Marty. They almost took his eye out. And I'll tell you what, Bo James will do anything to win, cheat, anything. He doesn't care. But Brian Overbay making his way back up to his feet. He decks that clothesline, decks another clothesline. Brian Overbay went for the big body press that Lou Thez used to use, and Bo James moved out of the way. Brian Overbay hit nothing but air and mat, Marty.
Indeed he did. He went for that flying body press. If he would have connected with Overbay's size, that could have resulted in the 3 count. But the lights were on, but no one was home. Pinning predicament there. Pinning cover for Bo James, 1-2. Once again, Overbay kicks out. Going to try a third time. And Overbay's just got too much gas in the tank.
I tell you what, 3 times referee Rob Knight totaled up a 2 count, but Overbay just kept coming up. I tell you what, he might be tired, he might be weary, but he's waited 6 months to get his hands on handsome Bo James, and the adrenaline, Marty, I've been in that ring. The adrenaline will keep you going and going and going.
I've only been in the ring one time. It was to referee a match in Irwin, a non-sanctioned match in Irwin. I know how the adrenaline was going in that match, and I can just imagine Brian Overbay in the ring, and I tell you what, he wants Bo James in the worst way, but right now Bo with outstanding match strategy. Overbay is taller. Overbay may weigh as much as Bo James just because of his height advantage. Doesn't look it, but because he's taller, he may weigh about the same. But Bo James is trying to keep him on the mat and wear him down, and that's great strategy.
I'll tell you what, Bo went for a backdrop, Brian Overbay with a big leapfrog, and now both men went for the clothesline at the same time. Both men are down. Referee Rob Knight, Johnny on the spot, starts a double count on both men, Marty.
Indeed. Rob Knight holding the count up to 6, I believe. They're both up to their knees. Referee Knight was stopping the count as they return to their feet. And a hard right hand to the midsection of handsome Bo James. Another one to the bread basket of the SSW TV champion.
Bo James came up first, but I tell you what, Brian Overbay was right there. Overbay saying, now, Bo James, I've got you where I want you. Revenge is mine. I tell you what, there are those right hands. I'm getting excited, Marty. I've waited 6 months to see Overbay get a hold of Bo James, and now he's putting some knots on the head.
Indeed. 10, as a matter of fact, on the head of Handsome Bo James. There's number 11. There's number 12. And Rob Knight gets pulled into the path of number 11, and Rob Knight gets KO'd. Rob Knight has just been pummeled as of lately on recent editions of SSW Main Event. Poor old Rob Knight is battered and bruised.
Bo James reached out, pulled Rob Knight into the center of that action, and I tell you what, I've been in there as a referee many times, and you can get hurt quick. Now, Bo James going to the center rope.
Another patented move by the Handsome one. Could this be the fist drop?
I tell you what, that's what he's going for, Marty. He was right on it, and as he went for it, Overbay moved out of the way, and there was nothing but match.
Oh, he dropped him. He dropped him, goes for the cover. There's a three. Well, Overbay counts three, but he is not. Wait a minute, they're asking for the bell to be rung. Is Brian Overbay the champion? He counted himself out. Now, wait a minute. Brian Overbay has the belt, and Rob Knight is raising his hand in victory, but the belt is being taken away. The belt's going to be given back to Bo James. I believe Rob Knight may have called for a disqualification. A disqualification. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match by disqualification, Brian Overbay. The title cannot change hands on a disqualification, so still SSW TV champion, Handsome Bo James.
For classic Southern Wrestling DVDs from the days of promoter Nick Gulas, Southeastern Wrestling, or Continental Wrestling? How about DVDs from Southern States Wrestling featuring the legends of the ring and some of today's top stars? Maybe you were looking for the 3-disc set of Bill Dundee's career and memories, or the 2 published books by Bo James about his life in wrestling. Keep up with the careers and life away from the ring of the award-winning Dynamic Wrestling James duo. All of this and a lot more at kingofkingsport.com. That's kingofkingsport.com.
Hello everybody, it's your old friend here, Handsome Bo James. Some people like to call me the King of Kingsport, and I'm here to tell you, it's finally here. Do you want to be a wrestler, kid? My first full-length book, 348 pages, never publicly told stories, rare photos, a history lesson of pro wrestling in East Tennessee. How I got my career started as a promoter at the age of 14 years old. How my in-ring career started at 15 years old. Stories of being so blessed and getting to work and compete with people like the Russian Bear Ivan Koloff, the Mongolian Stomper, Izzy Slapowitz, Nature Boy Buddy Landell, Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant, Ricky Morton, and a whole lot more. Let's not forget about those practical jokes that wrestlers like to pull on one another, a whole chapter dedicated to that. Tributes to many of my fallen heroes turned friends like Wahoo McDaniel, Road Warrior Hawk, Sherry Martell, Billy Joe Travis, Moondog Spot, and a whole lot more. Buy your copy today, kingofkingsport.com. Each book comes with signed pictures of not only myself, but my beautiful wife, Misty James, and a DVD with never-before-seen matches, interviews, and special insight from me that follows the book. Do you want to be a wrestler, kid? Available now, kingofkingsport.com.
like I told you, he'll come back. He's been around for years, and he knows what he's doing in that ring, Joe.
No doubt about that, Mike. Highly experienced veteran Jimmy Golden in there battling Jesse Taylor in this contest here with Southern States Wrestling and Iron Ring Wrestling, as Jesse's taking a breather out there on the floor already in the opening moments, as I think he may have underestimated this veteran ability of Jimmy Golden.
You want, he better take all the breathers he can, because Jimmy Golden, he's already got a top wrist lock, and Jesse Taylor using the hair of Golden to get out of that top wrist lock. I'll tell you one thing, Golden won't take that very long. Golden will play by the rules, but now if he has to, he'll fight fire with fire, Joe, I guarantee you.
Oh, no doubt about that, Mike, as Jesse here having some words with the referee. Jimmy Golden now, they're locked up collar and elbow once again. Jimmy Golden pulls this man right into a top wrist lock as he's applying, tremendous pressure there. But Jesse Taylor was able to use a back door, pull of the hair there, got himself out of that top wrist lock situation. I tell you what, Jesse is a tremendous competitor, as he's competed all over the country in many different promotions. And here representing Iron Ring Wrestling as part of this great event here with Southern States Wrestling. They've locked up collar and elbow once again. Golden pulls this man into a side headlock position. And he hung on right there. And Jesse Taylor in trouble here in the opening moments from the headlock of Jimmy Golden.
Jimmy's got it inside out there. Taylor tries to shove Golden off again. Golden just tightens up on that side headlock. He holds the man in. Joe, I tell you what, Taylor's going to have to think again, because Jimmy Golden using the hair, Jesse Taylor comes right back into the side headlock.
Golden with a solid strategy here at this point in time, without question, controlling the younger Jesse Taylor by utilizing the side headlock, keeping him grounded, keeping the match in a pace that Golden wants to keep it in, where he can dictate the pace, he can dictate how the match flows. Now Jesse opening up on him here with a series of shots. Jesse now with a series of boots on Golden as well, as Jimmy Golden now down in the corner, as Jesse's moving right back in on him. And Jesse apparently has been able to, open up quite a bit of offense on Jimmy Golden at this point in time, and is controlling him, as Jesse now comes across with a big elbow smash on Golden, in for a cover. Referee's in and got a 2 count out of that one, but the veteran Jimmy Golden is not done yet, Mike. Great point there, Mike, as Taylor now just driving his knee into the hamstring and the thigh area of Jimmy Golden, now dragging him out. Apparently he's going to utilize that apron, trying to focus his attack on the legs of Golden, and just drove his leg and knee area down across the apron of the ring. I know that had to put Golden in a tremendous amount of pain. And Jesse's going right back after him. Jesse Taylor going right back after him, drags him over now, and he's going to do it again, it appears. And down he crashes the leg across the canvas and the apron area. And that apron, by the way, is made out of solid wood, so that's a tremendous amount of pressure he's putting on Jimmy Golden's knee. Yeah, it's a great strategy, Mike, no doubt about that, as Jesse Taylor has been able to ground Jimmy Golden, at least for the time being, as Golden is flat on his back here. Taylor now comes back in the ring and going right back to work on that leg. We saw Roger Anderson wrestle earlier in the evening, and that just, you got to think about the Andersons when you see somebody wrestling a sound matchup like Jesse is here, and keeping his focus, keeping his attack on one body part. And his body part of choice right now is that leg of Jimmy Golden, and it's a great strategy from young Jesse Taylor.
He just dropped the knee across the leg of Jimmy Golden, and I'm going to tell you something. I'm not taking a thing away from Jesse. He's competitor of Iron Ring Wrestling, and the kid's young, but I tell you what, he's going to go a long way this Christmas, I guarantee you.
Oh, no doubt about that. He's a tremendous young competitor, a world of potential. He's got a great career ahead of him, I'm sure. And he is really, oh my, keeping his focus on Golden's leg, and Golden is kicking him right square in the face. It took 3 kicks right in the jaw, but Jimmy Golden was able to get Jesse Taylor off of him, catches him with a hard right hand. They're battling out here on the floor. Great crowd on hand here in Kingsport, Tennessee for Fun Fest. And into the table goes Jesse, crashing face first. Jimmy Golden is taking him out to the floor, and they're getting hardcore, Mike.
Jimmy Golden has been lost, Joe, and I tell you what, he's been taking Jesse Taylor into the table and so forth, but now Golden takes it back to the ring. He knows he can't beat him on the outside, and Jimmy Golden unlacing on one young Jesse Taylor. He shoots him across, that's the elbow into the chest area, Joe. Jimmy Golden's going for the pin.
He's got him down and got a 2 count out of that before Jesse was able to kick out of that situation. Jimmy Golden now bringing Jesse Taylor back to his feet. Irish whip in and catches him here in a sleeper hold. This could very well do it as Jesse Taylor is in the sleeper hold. His valet's now climbing up on the ring. Jeff Tankersley's hit the ring, and he just nailed Jimmy Golden from behind with the belt. Mike, Jeff Tankersley again interfering in a matchup here tonight.
Boy, Mr. Toppin Jeff Tankersley, he has been in that ring 4 times and cornered top hill. And there's the 3 count. And I tell you what, Jesse Taylor is going to be your winner tonight, Joe, but he had some help.
No doubt about that, Mike. Tremendous matchup, though. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner of this contest, Jesse Taylor, with Montana Star and Angel.
Fans, thanks for tuning in to Championship Wrestling Connection. We'll see you next week with more great Championship Wrestling.